Hello everybody. Well, we've just finished our Ordinary Council meeting for the 13th of April 2021. So I'd just like to run through a few of the major decisions that have been made at the meeting tonight. I wanted to highlight a report from the Environmental Sustainability Annual Report. This was the last report for the 1920 strategy. There'll be a new strategy coming out soon for public comment. Well, it's still being worked on. The councillors have a workshop on it next week, I believe, but after that it will be out for public comment. This report we received tonight was a big report with loads of information, over 40 pages, and the areas reported on included energy, emissions, healthy waterways, public open space and waste. There were some fantastic things highlighted here and some great work that's been done by our environmental sustainability department. Even though it's only a small department, they achieve really great things. One of the highlights is East Gippsland Shire Council signing up for a shared power purchasing agreement, and we'll hear more about this because this is due for launch in Melbourne in May. So 47 local governments will have 100% renewable power for 10 years. This is a really big deal as it's the largest emissions reduction project by local government in Australia. So really something to celebrate. Council has also been monitoring emissions from its operations since 2014-15, and the last year saw a reduction of 396 tonnes of emissions from the previous year. So they're just two of the highlights from that report. Council resolved to retire its East Gippsland Naturally Magic brand and instead move to a region-wide promotion of Gips All Kinds of Wonder Land. This is a response to some extensive research that's been done by Destination Gippsland and advice from them that this will be a far more effective promotional brand for East Gippsland. So that's been endorsed by Council this evening. There were a couple of planning issues on the agenda tonight. One was the application for proposed amendment of the review of the Tambo Bluff restructure plan. People will know this has been around for ages. It's to help facilitate the transition from a 1960s inappropriate subdivision to a fully serviced urban neighbourhood. This process has taken over 15 years to date. It's now 90% complete, so that's pretty amazing. This particular amendment tonight applies to 4 sites at Tambo Bluff deemed suitable for further restructuring and consolidation. Planning permit was issued for the World Sporting Precinct for the removal of current infrastructure and some native vegetation, 8 new netball courts, 2 new hockey pitches, 2 new soccer pitches, 2 pavilions and associated car parking. Council resolved to issue this permit for that project to go ahead. It's a huge new development at that precinct and it'll be a wonderful facility for the people of Bairnsdale and of course all the people visiting. A new policy for councillors which was passed to put in place. It's a new gifts, benefits and hospitality policy, and it's a requirement of the Local Government Act 2020. Basically it makes it very clear that councillors are not to accept anything by way of gifts, and we have to be very, very careful about it. So that's all in the name of transparency and people having trust in the decisions that we make. And finally, Council considered a contract, and we did that in camera due to the sensitive commercial nature of that item and in accordance with the Local Government Act 2020. This was a contract around the Omeo mountain bike track construction. So Council did make a decision to award the contract. The CEO will now notify the successful and unsuccessful tenderers, and we will provide details of the outcome as soon as that process is complete, and it's likely to be by the end of this week. The next meeting of our council will be on the 4th of May and it will be held at the Swifts Creek Hall starting at 1:30 p.m.